My name is George Khoukaz from Aleppo, Syria. I'm 28 years old. I left my hometown about 11 years ago, back in late August 2012. I'm currently a corporate M&A attorney with Norton Rose Fulbright, a global law firm, and based in Dallas, Texas. I remember leaving the country with my brother and sister. We took a flight from Aleppo to the capital Damascus, and later on took a taxi or driver to Lebanon. I can't recall why exactly we took this much longer detour route through Damascus instead of, driving straight from Aleppo to Lebanon. Although it most likely had to do with some safety concerns or border closure at the time, which unfortunately was quite common back then. So I moved to Lebanon for college, and I spent the next 3 years in northern Lebanon. On a short-term basis, I do consider the move to Lebanon to have been made by choice. I always knew I'll be leaving my hometown after graduating from high school to pursue my higher education abroad, and both of my siblings were studying in Lebanon at the time, so it only made sense for me to join them there. In a way, the timing of me going to college just happened to fall during the same exact time when the conflict first erupted in Syria. And it was a matter of pure luck, which, to be honest, did make it a tiny bit easier for me to move, since my brain was already prepared for the idea of me moving, and I was in a stage of transition in life, and I was prepared for the move. I just never realized that, this is it. This is the last time I'll be back to my hometown. I thought I'm going just for college for a few years, get some degrees and come back home. But obviously, I left and never came back. I would say integration went well and was fairly smooth. Obviously, Syria and Lebanon share a common language, and they've had an entangled past, which makes you, in a way, it makes you feel right at home. You're in a familiar environment. And despite the stories you would see on TV or on social media every now and then, my experience in Lebanon and with the Lebanese people has been nothing short of wonderful. The people there they're welcoming, they're warm and caring, and more importantly, they can associate with the struggle that Syrians are going through. So they're able to empathize with the situation you're in. The move to the US later on was a much bigger change with many more differences to get used to compared to Syria or Lebanon. Other than the obvious language differences, on a very basic level, and just as an example, Americans follow different sports, they celebrate different national holidays. Some of the food is different and unique depending on the region of the country you're in. So the US is different, and it did take me a bit longer to adjust and integrate given the differences. Although I'd say it's a very welcoming place, and I was able to find my spots real quick. From an entertainment perspective, music or movies, that way of American lifestyle was probably the most familiar to me given the spread of American culture around the world. And so it made it a much more familiar environment for me. Although, let's face it, no matter what music is playing on the radio or at the bar, and no matter which country I'm in, up until this day, I still need my daily dose of Sabah Fakhri, or at least some sort of Qudud Halabiyya to start my day the right way, the proper way. So I may have left Aleppo, but that legacy, that piece of my hometown will never leave me. Sadly not to my hometown at least. I've been back a couple of times to Damascus for some paperwork, but that's about it. I left my home about 11 years ago, headed to college, naively thinking that I'll be back in a few months for Christmas break. I didn't even pack enough clothes with me, thinking I'll be back. but obviously never made it back. That was it. I left and never came back. I really hope one day to make it back and to get to experience being in the city at least one more time. I always tell my American wife that I'll take her to Syria one day to show her where I came from and show her this amazing place. So I've got that to look forward to. So to end on a positive note, and despite all the hardship the people of my hometown and country have suffered, especially for the ones who stayed in the country and were the ones who took the biggest hit and suffered the most, I'm a strong believer that we're here in this life to thrive and not just to survive. And Syrians have proved this right. They're the ones who've carried the torch. They found their ways around the globe, and they've succeeded in their own ways. They kept pushing forward, and all along, they've made their country proud. So for the Syrians still listening, I just want to say, your success is our success. Each one of us takes pride in a friend's achievement. And nothing, seriously nothing, warms my heart more than seeing an old friend thriving in life. So, despite all the nostalgic feelings we tend to feel from time to time, I just want to say, go get it. Go make your country proud and go make all of us proud.